So, like, probably billions of years ago or something, there were these, like, squid things. They had the natural ability to mind control people, so they ruled the galaxy. But their slaves built robots to make their lives easier, but then they got into fights with them. So the squid things built an AI and programmed it to preserve all life. So the AI used its robot logic to decide that conflict between synthetics and organics was not only inevitable, but would lead to the destruction of all life. Since it's programmed to preserve life at any cost, the AI decides that sentient life needs to be exterminated in order to preserve life in the galaxy for all eternity. Basically, it wants to wipe the slate of sapient life clean every so often before life is permanently destroyed from the inevitable war between robots and nobots. So the AI turns on its creators, the squid things. It drives the squid aliens to the brink of extinction, loots all their corpses, and turns them into Harbinger, which is a Reaper. A Reaper is the robot made from the organic matter of living species. It's basically an all-powerful machine that's controlled by this AI. So under the AI's control, this Reaper begins a cycle of extinction. Every so often, as it's deemed necessary, this Reaper rolls into our galaxy, the Milky Way, and exterminates all sentient life. All advanced races, both organic and synthetic, are destroyed. The technologies developed by the synthetic races are integrated into the Reapers so that they can improve themselves. The organic matter of the lifeless corpses they genocided end up getting processed into an entirely new Reaper. This cycle continues for literally millions of years, so long that we can't even really fathom how long it's been going on. We don't get an exact timeline, but basically these Reapers roll in every 50,000 years. They build a new Reaper at the end of each cycle. 50k years times a giant Reaper fleet is a crapload of millions of years, so we can assume it's been a long time. Eventually the Reapers decide that the cycle of extinction isn't efficient enough for their liking. The galaxy needs help developing so that it can be efficiently wiped clean. So to make evolution advance more quickly, the Reapers built structures that are vital to advance life in the universe, specifically the Citadel and the mass relays. The Citadel is this giant mass relay that the Reapers use to return to the Milky Way. 49,000 years at the time, most of the Reapers are hibernating in dark space until they get a signal from the Citadel to return and start the next cycle's extinction. While the Citadel is a mass relay in secret, it officially serves as a nexus for the advanced species to use as a galactic base of diplomacy and commerce. There are also the normal mass relays, which are basically giant slingshots. The mass relays are devices floating in space that shoot ships off to another solar system. Shows like Star Trek have warp drive, where they travel faster than light to travel across the stars. In Mass Effect, ships use the mass relays instead, which basically grab starships, which effectively warp them to another mass relay in another part of the galaxy. This phenomenon is called Mass Effect, hence the name of the game. The combination of the Citadel and the mass relays ensures that sentient life evolves and advances efficiently toward predetermined courses. These Reaper-built structures inevitably get discovered by new races, and then become the center of people's lives, helping each cycle to develop efficiently according to the Reaper's design. When the Reapers do eventually roll in, they're basically like giant air cannons. They come in with their giant lasers and huge portions of people's planets apart. But they can't take out every single living being like that. So what they do is they indoctrinate people to become spies for them. They take people and corpses and convert them into husk-like beings, which are basically mutated zombie monsters. So the Reapers basically come in, nuke you from the sky, and then they take your corpses and turn them into zombie slave robot monsters, which then fight a bloody ground war in their place, systematically going through and exterminating people on foot. In this way, the Reapers will spend hundreds of years very carefully exterminating all advanced life, until eventually their job is done, they erase evidence of their presence as best they can, and then they bounce back to dark space. The biggest problem for the AI and the Reapers is the fact that sentient life always fights back. This itself isn't really a problem, but what is a problem is that somehow we always find a way to pass down our knowledge to the next cycle. The species of a cycle may go extinct, but before they do, they pass down what knowledge they can to the next cycle, which is inevitably discovered, built up, and then hidden for the next cycle before they get killed. That's the main deal with the Prothean beacons, which are sometimes used to pass down knowledge to the next cycle fighting the Reapers. And so, knowledge is passed down from cycle to cycle to cycle until the protagonist Shepard and Shkler waifu discover plans for a device that could wipe out the Reapers for good. But can they build it in time? Better play the trilogy and find out yourself!